Hello guys, it's Friday, October the 12th. I'm taking a break in the Vacay Day bonus videos. You know, it takes me a while to get those up and going anyway. But I want to precursor this video by saying two things. One, I am not subscribed to Onision. I only come across Onision videos randomly. Usually I do not agree with Onision. I mean, a lot of his videos that I've come across are the older ones that he did about being a vegan and how apparently, you know, I support murder because I eat meat. And in fact, I'm going to, after I'm done with this, I'm going to go try the portobello thing that Wendy's has right now. So I will be eating meat today. So I don't usually agree with Onision. And like I said, I'm not a fan of his necessarily. I don't generally, I think maybe I have liked 3 Onision videos in my life, including the 2 that I just liked, you know, gave a thumbs up to today. And the main part of the video is he's talking to this suicidal fan who has sent him, you know, a message about... I will link the video below so that you can watch the whole thing in its entirety, and I suggest you do that first, so that... I mean, that's what I did. I actually learned about this through K6 Flip, I believe. K6 Faces, actually, is what is originally. But I saw his response video today. So I will actually link both of those below so that you can check those out. But definitely the Onision video about, you know, reading the letter and stuff. And this is, you know, I can't argue the guy's ego. You know, I've left a couple comments on some of these videos today. So it's kind of hard to tell necessarily, like, all the details of what's going on, but my second precursor that I wanted to put on this is while my situation was never abusive in any way, shape, or form, I guess it could be considered abusive because I have a video actually where I talk about, you know, what happened with me and my father, and I'll link that below too if you want to go ahead and check that one out. But, you know, I was left feeling abandoned by my father, and he lived 10 minutes away from me my entire life, and he couldn't be bothered. So before you think that I don't know what I'm talking about, I just wanted to let you know that little piece of information, because putting, you know, the name Onision in a video is going to, you know, bring in some viewers that have never seen me before. So, they'll probably be okay with me because I am in agreement with Onision, actually, in this one instance. His basic message that I took from it is he's trying to... A part of the problem is he tells the person to blame themselves, but he's not really telling the person to blame themselves for the abuse, but he's trying to tell them to blame themselves for the way that they feel about it. You know, the way that they're feeling about it. And, you know, I mean, I was lucky, I will say, in my life to have a good support system with, my mother was always there for me, and I do love her whole bunches. My friends, I've known my friend Jason since 1st grade, I've known my friend Robert since 4th grade. I mean, I've always had, a good support system around me, which puts me in a lot better place than a lot of people. But it's really hard for me to say that I agree with Onision, but I do on this one, because there's a lot of people talking about, I've seen some comments about, you know, like, this person, they haven't grown up with a good support system. How do you expect them to how do you expect them to be a well-rounded individual, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You know, how do you expect them to be, you know, well enough equipped to handle this situation? And that I say, I understand this person is 17. Unfortunately, they can't get out of the situation. They're stuck there because they're too young to get out on their own. I mean, well, I guess you can get a job at 16. But you know, I don't know if they have a car. I don't really know their financial situation. I don't know anything like that. So I don't know that it's really plausible for them to escape out of that situation. So that is unfortunate in that case. But at some point, you have to put your big kitty panties on, and you have to take stock of your life, and you have to look at, you know, who you are as a person. Are these things true? Obviously, well, part of the problem is the person felt suicidal for doing this, and that's part of what's caused the uproar, is because people think it's only making it worse. More on that in a minute, I guess. But it's... At some point, you have to just realize maybe these things people are saying about you, because they didn't say anything about physical abuse. It was all emotional, mental, you know, that sort of thing. And at some point, if you continue to believe that and it's not true, that's kind of your fault. You're kind of perpetuating the abuse upon yourself, and you shouldn't do that. You know, you have to rise above it, and I honestly feel through the way that he explained it, I think he explained it a little bit weird, he worded it a little bit weird. I think that's what he was really saying, and, you know, he goes on to further explain himself. Yeah, there's a response video that he does that you can get to from the original video. You know, he's just trying to help this person rise above what this person is doing to them. Like, you have to take control. You have to, at some point, you just have to, you know, no matter what way that comes about. Yeah, like, I think it was just kind of a moment of tough love. Yeah, and people were bringing up psychologists, you know, and, you know, getting professional help. Well, what's a professional going to do? Take a lot of money from you, for one thing, and basically help you take control of your life, which is exactly what Onision was trying to tell this person to do. Take control of your emotions, take control of how you feel about the situation, take control. And that's exactly what a professional or, you know, a suicide hotline or any of those things would have told this, or tried to help this person to do, you know? I mean, it's, I can see where it would be the exact same thing. And I kind of have my own problems with professionals. I mean, like, how often are they wrong? You know, like, professionals, keep in mind, professionals used to torture, attempt to torture the crazy out of people. Like, education doesn't always necessarily mean you know what you're talking about, but people just kind of bend over and take it, and that's kind of upsetting to me. I don't think I ever did a video on addiction, because that was a discussion I got into around the time Amy Winehouse killed herself. You know, and now, I always want to say Mariah Carey. I don't know why. Maybe it's a premonition. I don't know. But Whitney Houston, you know, these people, it upsets me that addiction is called a disease, because that allows the addict to not blame themselves, to not take stock of themselves and be like, you know what, I need to control this. They're like, oh, you know, this isn't something that I'm doing to myself. This is something that's happening to me. I have no control over it. And, like, how many addicts go over and over and over again with their addiction? You know, because if you can't walk in a bar and have one drink and then stop, that addiction controls you for the rest of your life. instead of you controlling it. So like that's part of my problem with professionals and that aspect is, it's just like professionals told my grandmother that, she would die in a few months and she was with us for a few years. Professionals tried to tell my head injured aunt after her car accident she would never walk or talk again. And while, she doesn't do both perfectly by any means. She does have her issues, but she still walks and she still talks to this day. And, I always like to bring up, how long was Pluto a planet? Like, these professionals don't always necessarily know what they're talking about necessarily. And I'm sure there's some professionals who are fighting for Pluto to be a planet again. So that's why I would rather take, I would take the word over somebody who's been there over a professional any day, because I feel, because, they've been through it. They know what they're talking about more than somebody who's read a book on it. What are they, street smarts, I guess, over, over, book smarts. There is something to be said there. And that's why, this person, reached out, they wanted advice, and, while, like I said, it was worded a little bit odd, I still think the message was genuine, and I kind of hope, I don't know that they take it to heart, because, people were talking about if the victim blames themselves, they're just going to, continue the cycle. And it's like, once again, that is your choice. You get to a point in your life when you're an adult and you can think logically. Of course, there is the argument that they'll say that, this person didn't have a good foothold in life in the first place, and they don't know how to do that. Hopefully they get whatever help they need to figure that out, because the only person, like Onision said, the only person that is going to be able to help them is themselves. That's just, you can't count on anybody else to change your mind for you. You have to do it yourself. And if you allow people to continue to put you down and just talk down to you and make you feel this way, make you feel bad about yourself, you're giving them far more control over you than they deserve. And you should just stop. However you need to do that, whether it be, talk to somebody on the internet, talk to a professional, talk to somebody on a hotline, even if, I'm not much of a churchgoer, but if you need salvation and you need someone there, there will definitely be someone in a church that will care about you and listen to your story and try to help you. So if that's what you need, get whatever help you need, because you are in control of how you feel and what you do. And hopefully if you're in a bad situation, you can get out of it as soon as possible. But don't stay in that situation. Don't allow them to drag you down. You're going to have to, as Onision said, rise above it. And I truly, truly hope that you are able to.